Good afternoon and welcome into the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. It's the last game of 2024 for Manchester Basketball, and they're looking to finish the year strong and position themselves for a potential Cup semi-final place as they take on the Durham Palatinates. Caroline Bullock here with Manchester's very own Hannah Alty, and we're going to be with you throughout today's game, which is due to tip off in around 9 minutes' time. Now, Hannah, Manchester are going to want to bounce back today, aren't they, after a 73-70 loss against Leicester last weekend. Came down to the last possession, had a three that could have taken it to overtime, but unfortunately weren't able to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a real tough loss last weekend. It was back-to-back throughout the whole game. But, you know, Leicester managed to keep that lead throughout. It was tight, but I think, unfortunately, they just couldn't get a hold of it in the end. You know, there were some great standout players from individually. However, as a team, I just don't think they weren't able to kind of keep on to it.
And we saw it with Danny Williams leading the way, 14 points, 11 rebounds and 5 assists. And Annie Warren, 15 points and 6 rebounds.
Yeah, I mean, Annie Warren had a hell of a game last week. You know, she was really tough, and I think, you know, aggressively on the board, she was fighting for it. And then obviously Danny Williams with that, you know, the double-double. What do we expect from her with her lights out shooting? So she was fantastic again last week.
So today's game is going to set the standings for the end of the year. And at the end of this weekend, we will know the top 4 teams that will make it through to the Cup semi-finals. So teams 1 through 4. Currently, Sheffield and Oakland in the top spots. They're playing at 2 o'clock today, and that will determine first and second place. So make sure to keep an eye on that one. Get your split screens going, and me and Hannah will be certainly watching that throughout today. Currently in third place is the Leicester Riders and Manchester in 4th. So maybe a little bit more on the line than a regular season game these days.
Yeah, I think we are. I think, you know, we really can't kind of take our foot off the pedal at the minute. It is, you know, it's not set in stone, and I think that's something that they will be taking into consideration today and really kind of focusing on that, especially kind of, you know, thinking about going ahead and going forward after Christmas. So yeah, it's something to think about.
And that matchup between Sheffield and Oakland, I know a lot of people will have their eyes on that one because that's going to be a really fun one to see, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. I think I'll be definitely having the second screen up today.
So some changes in the Manchester camp since we were last here a few weekends ago, with head coach Krumesh Patel departing Manchester, reuniting with Stella Kalsagou in Greece. So it's been Rianne Bailey that stepped up to the challenge and taken on that head coach role. And Rianne, a really, really experienced coach, someone that you've been coached by yourself, Hannah.
Yeah, she was brilliant. You know, I had the pleasure of having her as my coach for a season at Division 2. And again, she stepped into that role as well, just kind of like off the cuff because we had no coach. But she's just fantastic. You know, her knowledge and the way she sees and reads the game, you know, even as a player, it was fantastic. But then it kind of really transfers to her as a coach. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what she brings to the team.
And great to have, again, another head coach, female head coach representing in the Super League this season. We saw Chloe Gaynor here a few weekends ago, and she did a fantastic job with Newcastle. So really exciting to see what Rianne will do with Manchester.
Yeah, girls for the win.
So just looking at this Manchester squad as well, and we've talked about a couple of players, so Danny Williams and Annie Warren in last weekend's game against Leicester. But looking at Annie a little bit more, I think she's been incredibly consistent for this Manchester squad and has maybe flown slightly under the radar because she's just essentially she's gone about her job and just done it very well, but she's just been so consistent. What does she bring to this Manchester team?
I mean, I think we've got to tap into your Jo Leedham column. I think that she's the perfect example of that. You know, she's somebody, like you say, that's consistent, that will deliver, and, you know, she might not be the top scorer, she might not be the top rebounder, but she's somebody that this Manchester team can really rely on. You know, and then she will, no matter kind of what position she's been put in, she will excel and she will really deliver for the team.
Certainly, 13.4 points per game, 5.3 rebounds and 2.6 assists. Can knock it down from outside when she needs to. So certainly, if you've not seen Annie Warren play before today, watch out for her in today's game.
Yeah, definitely.
And then if we take a look at Durham, Durham. So they had last weekend off, probably doing a bit of Christmas shopping, but before that, they had a big win against the Nottingham Wildcats, where they withstood a 27-point comeback from Nottingham. Nottingham got it to within 1, and they were able to pull it out with all 5 starters playing a full 40 minutes. Now that's just a real testament to the grit and hard work of this team.
I mean, definitely. I mean, I think that's why they needed last weekend 40 minutes. And you know, when you watch the game back and you see the transition and the speed of their game, you know, their fitness, their personal trainers must be working overtime. That's all I'm saying. You know, and I think that's a testament, like you say, to their grit and their determination. They're able to really push the ball up the court, and I think that's what they caught Nottingham out on a few times. And also their pressure defense. You know, they like to play up the court, and I think that tipped off Nottingham as well. You know, they just did a really good job.
Yeah, and it was Marina Fernandez-Pardo, a new signing for Durham. She had a triple-double, 15 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists. So, and alongside her, new signing Shanique Lucas, who leads the team in points per game with 21. How are they going to impact this team?
I mean, you know, Manchester have got to really watch out today. I think, you know, Lucas is such a strong guard. She really looks to push the ball. She's got a great eye of the court, and will any players, any of her teammates ahead of her up the court, she will pass that ball, she'll move the ball. And I think that's something that Manchester needs to be wary of. So, yeah.
And with Marina making the move over from the Newcastle Eagles, we spoke about it a little bit before with Erin James moving to Manchester. He said it's great to sort of retain the talent within the UK league.
Oh, definitely. You know, it's fantastic when you kind of, you know, we can keep players and keep the homegrown talent here and keep it, you know, keep it local, I like to say, across the UK.
Yeah. And, I mean, she's not moved too far, has she, from Newcastle to Durham?
Down the road.
Right trip. And so Durham, again, playing with quite a short bench today. How does Coach Lee Davey need to manage those minutes?
You know, I think he's going to have to really just kind of consider matchups. You know, whoever Manchester put on court, he's going to have to really be considerate. You know, Durham aren't the tallest. They've got Harriet, you know, who's a fantastic interior player. She's really strong off the boards, on the board, sorry. And I think Lee's just going to have to really consider who's on court when and who they can match up against.
And you mentioned it before, Durham had seen it like to run and to get out into transition, and we saw Manchester last weekend against Leicester, 24 fast break points to Leicester's 12. So that's something that Manchester like to do as well. How is that gonna go?
I mean, I think it might be a game of tennis, Carrot. I'll be honest with you, Kaz. Yeah, I just think it's one of them things, isn't it? It depends who takes control of the game first. That's what's going to be important today. I think if Manchester really lock in and lock down on defence, they should be able to kind of take control and really move the ball and push forward. But then, you know, if they let slip, Durham might be able to answer back.
Definitely, certainly an interesting one today. So keep it locked to the Super League W YouTube channel, Super League Basketball W YouTube channel, and you can keep up with all the action because there's even more games coming up throughout today. Sheffield and Oakland's tipping off in 2 minutes' time. Cardiff and Newcastle later on today at 3:15, and then Essex and London at 4 o'clock today. Caledonia and Leicester will have the last game of the weekend at 2 o'clock tomorrow. So the starters for Manchester basketball today will be Davida Dale, Danny Williams, Annie Warren, Bridie Kennedy-Hapuate and Lauren Thomas-Johnson. And for the Durham Palatinates, Shanique Lucas, Eliza Brough, Katie Bennett, Harriet Otterwill-Salisbury and Marina Fernandez-Pardo. And you mentioned Harriet Otterwill-Salisbury, Hannah, a player with GB experience, was out playing in the World Cup pre-qualifying tournament in Rwanda this summer. And how important is it to have someone with that kind of national team experience and bring it back to the domestic game?
Oh, it's so important. You know, playing and having that international experience is completely separate to what, you know, playing here on your home court, you know. And being in that environment just gives you that kind of other perspective of playing the game and being able to kind of like assess situations. So I think, you know, coming over here, being able to kind of then bring that experience back home, you know, it's invaluable.
And is it sometimes a case of in a national team, or you know, maybe in like an all-star game or different types of leagues that you're playing a slightly different role than you would in a domestic game?
Yeah, and you have to be adaptable, you know. And I think that's one of the great things about playing internationally is that you can't just kind of settle into your role and just stick with what you want to do and stick with what you want to do. You have to push yourself outside your comfort zone. And also you have to learn very quickly how to play with new people and then play against new people, because you playing in regular season, you're playing against the same people over again. Whereas internationally, these are teams that all right, you have a scout report. However, you get step on that court and it's even. Who knows?
Yeah, no, it's a very, very good point. So teams coming out on court. Manchester playing in black today, and Durham in white and purple. Nobody's being very festive. Where's the red and green?
I know.
I mean, that'd be terrible actually for anybody.
You in yellow and blue. I mean, it's a fantastic Christmas jumper. We have to comment on that, Kaz.
It's because Steph Curry is the gift that keeps on giving for Golden State.
I mean, it's so poetic.
So the last home game before Christmas for Manchester Basketball. Manchester Basketball will not be back at home until the 1st of March.
Are you going on holiday, Kaz?
I might do. Maybe I should take advantage of it. We've got a nice little crowd building here at the National Basketball Performance Centre, and jumping for the tip, it will be Ottawa Salisbury and Kennedy Hopawate.
We are set, we are ready, let's play.
As we get things underway, ball's tipped into the hands of Williams. Warren has it round the outside, and Davida Dale, she has been leading this team in the point guard position throughout this season, has been absolutely fantastic directing Manchester as she comes up against Ottawa Salisbury, who forces the travel call. And that's a great defensive start there from Durham. Yeah,
brilliant. Putting that pressure on, really taking control, setting that tone for the game.
Lucas for Durham. Gets the handoff back. Fernandez Pardo. Back to Lucas. Lucas with a scoop layup shot. Doesn't get it to fall. Kennedy Hopawate pulls the rebound down. And Bridie Kennedy Hopawate, Hannah, she has been a bit of a menace on the boards these last few games for Manchester. Had 9 against Leicester last weekend.
Yeah, she has. You've got to watch out for her. You've got to box her out.
And she grabs the offensive board and puts it back in. First points of the game for Manchester. And it's those offensive rebounds, so important. Second chance points.
Yeah, you really have to execute on those.
Bennett comes up against Dale, saves the ball, and 3 is good for Durham as Eliza Bro gets Durham on the scoreboard. Kennedy Hopawate driving to the basket, gets the reverse to go. That was a tough move. And Eliza Bro, Hannah, she's someone we spoke about earlier off air, but a really tough three-point shooter.
Yeah, she's a lights-out shooter. They will look to get the ball to her on the perimeter.
And Bro puts up the float, and that's 5 points for Durham and 5 points for Eliza Bro. As the ball's knocked out of bounds, will stay with Manchester. Williams ball's in, and it's picked out of the air by Fernandez Pardo, who gets it over to Lucas, driving all the way to the basket. And Lucas chasing the ball and nearly got a hand on it there. Great hustle from Shanique Lucas. As the 3 doesn't fall for Manchester, but another offensive board for Warren. Out to Dale. That 3 short.
You just wanted Warren to just turn around and be like, you're under the basket. Go up.
She almost thought she had too much space.
Yeah.
Fernandez Pardo into Bennett in the corner. That's a dangerous shot for Katie Bennett. Williams grabs the rebound and races down the court, stepping through to the hoop, and it bounces out. And Ottawa Salisbury working against Kennedy Hopawate. Gets a second chance for Durham. Bro, and draws the whistle. She's going to go to the foul line for 2. And Eliza Bro here has just come out firing in the first half.
Yeah, she has. I mean, I think you've got to really look at the connection between her and Harriet. They're really good at working together. Bro comes off the screens a lot with from Harriet, and I think it's something that we really need to kind of keep an eye on. And I'd like to see how Manchester are going to match up to that defensively.
playing in a third season for Durham. Graduated Central Maine Mustangs University, but played for the Central Maine Mustangs in 2022. And this season, she's been averaging career highs in points per game, rebounds, assists, field goal percentage, and three-point percentage. And I just think that's fantastic to see the development of her game over the course of 3 seasons.
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
So a 2-point Durham lead. Dale with the ball. Warren driving to the basket, forces away and ties the game at 6-all.
Defense.
Lucas into Bro. Fernandez Pardo has Williams on her. Oswald Salisbury and balls knocked out of bounds. Last touch Durham. And Kennedy Hopewati doing a really good job there inside.
Yeah, she's been playing tough, playing aggressive, you know, keeping them out.
Georgia Anderson into the game for the first time for Manchester. Gets the ball at the top of the key, kicks it out to Dale. Dale driving to the basket, floater is good. And Davida Dale dropped a triple-double last time we were here against the Caledonia Gladiators. Just a real all-round player, doing a bit of everything for Manchester this season.
Yeah, I mean, the length on that first step and on that drive. She nearly left the building.
Bennett into Ottawa Salisbury. Bennett gets it back with a short jumper. That's off. Kennedy Hopewati looking to hand it off. Williams is there. Williams with a pull-up jumper. And that gets Danny Williams her first points of the game. Bro thought about the shot, driving to the basket, puts it in, off the glass. She has such a range of moves, doesn't she?
Yeah, she really does. Her footwork is fantastic.
Bro has all 8 of Durham's points as Annie Warren answers for Manchester and takes Warren up to 4. And stolen away by Davida Dale. He's going to have to wait for the team to catch up with her. But Lucas takes it back for Durham, steps through and in off the glass.
Yeah, you can't fall asleep on that. You know, she's a really tough guard, Lucas. She'll look for the any steals she can get.
Shanique Lucas leads the league in steals per game with 4. Picks up her first one here in the first quarter as Durham look to tie or take the lead on this possession. Great pass into Bro. Bennett on the outside. Driving baseline. Pass is too strong, but Lucas picks it up. 4 seconds. Deep 3. Bounces out, and it's out of bounds. Durham ball.
Substitution for Manchester coming back.
As Lauren Thomas-Johnson checks back in for Manchester, Bridie Kennedy Hopewati heads to the bench.
4:37 remaining in the first quarter. Manchester by 2.
Fresh 14 for Durham.
From the baseline.
Bennett gets it in, and Danny Williams came out of nowhere to try and knock that out of the way.
Yeah, she really did.
Ball goes out of bounds. Durham retain possession.
So takes a second off the clock, 13 seconds on the shot clock. Intercepted by Davida Dale. That's 2 steals early on in the game. Passes to Anderson, Thomas Johnson. Long pass over to Warren. That's a dangerous pass. Warren does keep it alive for Manchester. Lines up a 3, too short. But that was some good ball movement there from Manchester.
Yeah, really good ball movement. I think that's the best way to kind of keep this Durham defense on their toes. You know, you've got to get that ball moving, shift the defense and look for those open shots.
And we've seen that tends to be very successful for Manchester. They move the ball around a lot, race out into transitioners. Lucas drives to the hoop, and it's a tie game at 12-all.
I feel like they're really shutting us up today. They're not letting us speak. They just keep scoring.
End-to-end basketball, as Davida Dale says, yeah, guys, stop talking, pay attention to me.
Told you it's a game of tennis.
That's exactly what you said. Warren reaches in for the steal. Bro comes up with it. And both teams just playing with intensity here in the first quarter. As that 3 doesn't drop. Danny Williams with the rebound. And Georgia Anderson's three is short, chased down by Lucas. And Durham just really play with pace, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. What'll be interesting, though, is to see if they can keep this up. 40 minutes is a long time.
Bennett kicks it out. Into Ottawa Salisbury. Danny Williams with the steal. 1-on-2. Williams racing down the court, hangs in the air, doesn't get that to go. And Ottawa Salisbury with a behind-the-back pass over to Bennett.
What a pass.
That was incredible.
Yeah, brilliant. She had eyes literally in the back of the head.
So 14 all, under 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter. And what a basket there. Annie Williams driving to the hoop. Danny Williams with an incredible assist. And that's going to send Annie Williams to the line. And it's just a case of, hey, anything you can do, I can do as well.
It really is.
So that foul will be on Eliza Bro, her first. And we'll have a substitution for Manchester as Hannah Shaw and Nicolette Fairley check back into the game. And long-time teammates, Hannah and Nicolette, always enjoy playing together, don't they? So Annie Warren at the foul line for Manchester. She's leading Manchester in scoring with 6 points so far. It's a 2-point Manchester lead. And free throw doesn't go for Warren.
Manchester
Lucas has Fairley on her. Round to Bro. Bro, step back. Shots too short. And Thomas Johnson will step out of bounds as she was trying to save that in. She had a good position there, didn't she?
Yeah,
keeping off towards Salisbury behind the ball.
I feel like she just might have needed to leave it, though. I couldn't tell who had the last touch, though.
It's Durham inbound back to Bennett. Lucas, 1 second, needs to put something up here. Time will expire. And that'll be a shot clock violation. So works out in Manchester's favour with Lauren leaving, touching it last.
Anderson in possession.
Fairley. To Thomas Johnson. Anderson. Shanique Lucas all over Anderson. She's so quick defensively to get out to her player. Fairley in the corner, driving, kicks it out to Anderson, and that three bounces off the rim. Annie Warren skies in out of nowhere. And Annie Warren up to 8 points. Ottawa Salisbury looking for some help. Fernandez Pardo's there. Puts up a three, off the rim, chases down her own rebound. And foul is called. And that's, Manchester need to get out to that. Fernandez Pardo able to get her own shot bouncing off the rim.
That was tough, that. I think, that was quite a critical rebound there that Manchester missed. But just going back to that last play, I think Warren, her superpower is, I think that the defense seemed to forget about her.
Yeah.
She hid in the corner and she just came out of nowhere and took the rebound.
And at 5'8", bounced about 10 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Bros three, it's too strong. Thomas Johnson leading the charge. Williams is there. Can't get it to go, but Shaw puts it back in. Hannah Shaw cleaning up the glass and puts Manchester up 6. Bennett back to Fernandez Pardo. Gets the shot to go. That was a really long layup using her left hand.
Yeah, it was a lovely finish that. You could see the spin, nice bit of spin on that.
Flicked it in. And it's a 4-point game. Anderson to Shaw. Fairley. Thomas Johnson driving inside, meets two Durham defenders, and it's picked up by Ottawa Salisbury. Lucas racing down the court, out to Bennett, and an offensive foul is called. You could see Nicolette Fairley there, feet set, takes the charge, getting herself into position.
I thought of that. No, she'll tell you I thought of that.
Learning from the best.
Yeah, it just shows her experience though, you know. She can read the game really well, read the defenders, you know, knows what the offender's doing before they're even she's even there.
And Lucas was racing down the court then on that possession. As ball's picked up and stolen away as Bro, again, to the basket, doesn't get that to go. And a foul called on the floor, but we see Eliza Bro and Shanique Lucas just absolutely having a 100-meter race down the court with everyone.
Yeah, they really are.
So the first foul called on Ottawa Salisbury, and that's the third team foul on Durham. So Manchester ball with 13.6 seconds left. They can hold for the last shot here, as it's a 4-point Manchester lead. 5 seconds, Fairley hands it off to Williams. Thomas Johnson threes up and doesn't go. So at the end of the first quarter, it is a 20-16 lead for Manchester. Annie Warren leading the way with 8 points so far. And it is Eliza Bro with 8 points for Durham. We've got some interesting headers on the live stats.
Yeah, I just thought it was my iPad then for a second, but no.
So we'll try and interpret that into some stats for you. But we can see there on the screen, Manchester shooting 67% from the field, 50% for Durham. And it's been a frantic first quarter. It's 16 minutes after tip-off, Hannah. That's a really short, fast-flowing first quarter.
Yeah, that was so quick. You know, and I think we talked about kind of how quick Durham play and how quick in transition they like to, you know, move the ball. But, you know, I have to highlight and have to question, you know, they do have such a short bench. Like, can they sustain this? And another thing as well, I think, you know, they've got 3 players already on their first foul. Again, you know, going back to what we said earlier about Lee Davey and how he's going to kind of manage this and manage the subs and who's going to be on court, the fouling situation is going to take a big hit on that, you know. And I think that last foul by Harriet, I said it wasn't the smartest foul, and I don't think those are the fouls she can afford to make in this game, especially when you have such a short bench. But then again, looking back, she's played 40 minutes in the last 2 games, so she's clearly very good at it.
She has, and Durham winning the battle of the boards 12-11, and 3 steals for both teams. As back on court for the second quarter. It will be a Durham ball to get things started. So a 4-point Manchester lead. A win today will position Manchester very well in the standings. Gives them a potential route to a semi-final in the Cup if they finish in the top 4 before Christmas. Lucas' shot spins out and Dale grabs the rebound. Long pass over to Kennedy Hopoate. Somehow catches it under the hoop and puts it in.
That footwork then was very disciplined, very sharp. She was able to kind of keep on balance. Really nice to see.
Because caught in a really difficult position. Bro looks to answer. 3 bounces out. Kennedy Hopoate back to Dale. Dale into Kennedy Hopoate. What a pass underneath to Thomas Johnson, and just the pass in there from all 3 players involved. Dale to Kennedy Hopoate to Thomas Johnson inside, just really showing the connection that they've built throughout the season.
Yeah, that ball movement's brilliant. You know, it's picture perfect, I would say.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, very nice to watch.
So that foul on Wells, that's her first. And it will put Lauren Thomas Johnson at the foul line. And Lauren Thomas Johnson playing in her 7th season, has had 6 with Manchester, 1 with Sheffield. And a player that Georgia Anderson, Hannah Shaw, Nicolette Fairley have played with throughout the years. And it's great to see them all back together, isn't it, on the court?
Yeah, no, it's lovely.
Always makes me smile. 2 of 2 from the line for Thomas Johnson. And Williams intercepts the inbound, puts it in the hoop. And all of a sudden, just like that, it's a 10-point lead for Manchester, having a swing here in the second quarter. Bro to Lucas. Ottawil Salisbury hands it back to Bro. Thought about the shot, passes round to Lucas. Lucas gets it back behind the arc and hits nothing but net from Shanique Lucas. And Durham able to get out of trouble there on what looked like a difficult possession.
Yeah.
As it's intercepted back into the hands of Lucas. And again, picked up by Danny Williams, back-to-back steals for the team. Catch and shoot three doesn't go, but the ball's out and will stay with Manchester. So we'll see Annie Warren check back in and Nicolette Fairley head to the bench for Manchester.
I'd say, because I don't think I've seen such a fast-paced game in a long time.
It's been relentless, hasn't it?
I feel like I'm still thinking about the last play, and then they've just scored again.
It's making me tired watching it, and I'm certainly not out there running up and down.
Could you imagine?
I think I'd get to half court and have a sit down. Kennedy Hopoate. Thomas Johnson with 9 seconds on the shot clock. Hands it off to Dale. Williams pulls up for the long two. That's short. And we've seen maybe from Danny Williams the last few home games, haven't we? Has maybe had a little bit of a slow start to the game, and then she just explodes in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely lights the board up. So we can wait for that to come in.
Yeah, it's almost like she just needs to get used to the shot. And we'll see Eva Karashita checking into the game for Manchester as Fernandez Pardo pass is kicked, so stays with Durham. And it was Eva Karashita hit a big three towards the end of the game against Leicester. Around 4 minutes left, put Manchester up. And she's just a player that's just continued to develop throughout this season and really improved her game, all aspects of her game, playing MMU basketball as well.
She's so tough, and she's really aggressive on defense. She's kind of one of my highlight players on defense for the Manchester team.
I like how she's so tough on defense, but always plays with a smile.
Yeah, she's lovely. She's such a positive player.
Kennedy Hopoate to Karashita in the corner, long two. Doesn't go, but Williams is there for the rebound and puts it back in. And Danny Williams is fighting on the boards today. As Durham look to answer, Ottawil Salisbury with a short jumper and an offensive foul call. Bridie Kennedy Hopoate taking the charge with a grin on her face. She was really happy about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's well deserved. You know, she's been trying for those charges the last few games and hasn't been getting them. You know, and I think, you know, it just shows kind of her determination as a player on defense that, you know, you just keep going for it and keep attempting it, and you know they will start falling. The refs start calling them.
And Bridie's done a really good job, hasn't she? She's been able to manage her foul count.
Yeah.
We saw earlier in the season maybe getting a little bit of foul trouble, which can always be difficult, kind of, when you come into a new league and have to learn sort of how teams are refed and things. But she's done a really good job the last few games of staying on top of that. As Dale drives to the basket, I think someone got a hand on that one.
Yeah, that was blocked. That was blocked by Wells.
As Fernandez Pardo has it intercepted by Dale. Long pass to Williams, racing to the basket, draws the foul, and the speed again with both teams. But Davida Dale, the passing she has been doing today, she's been flinging quarterback passes full court.
What I love about Danny Williams when she drives to basket, it shows her basketball IQ and her intelligence within the game. She's so good at drawing the foul. You know, she doesn't hide away from the contact and anything. She asks for it to get those extra points.
She certainly does, and leads the team in scoring so far this season with 20.3 points, and that's good for 6th in the league. Also 8.3 rebounds, which is 6th in the league as well. So top 6 points and rebounds. Just a really, really relentless player as she goes 2 of 2 from the line, and that takes her up to 8 points. She said, don't wait for me to warm up in the second half. I'm going to warm up in the first half. Durham looking to answer here. It's an 11-point Manchester lead. Bennett to Ottawil Salisbury on the baseline. And a foul called on the baseline. That looked like...
I thought it was...
Oh, it was no.
It was a travel call.
It was a travel call. So we both, I think, and Bridie also thought it was a foul. I think that's what the reaction was from. So we'll have a timeout, but it will be Manchester ball. So 30-19, Manchester lead over the Durham Palatinates here in the first half. 6:36 to play. And who stood out for you so far for Manchester, Hannah?
I think for me, you know, we've talked about Warren and her consistency, and I think she's really shown that. She's been consistent in the first quarter and in the second quarter. Her rebounding, you know, and she's got 8 points on the board. She's done fantastic. Are you trying to read the stats? I've just given up at this point. I really have.
They've got it's got the code behind it. It's not got the header, so it doesn't say points. It says stats underscore.
Message FIBA and tell them to sort it out.
So I believe, and this may be wrong, Davida Dale has 3 steals or 4. She's got 3 or 4. I can't tell. I'm sorry. This is terrible commentary. But 8 points each for Danny Williams and Annie Warren. And then Eliza Bro, there's 8 points in the first quarter for Durham, but hasn't scored yet in the second. And in the Oakland's Wolves Sheffield Hatters game, it is 24-18 for the Wolves over the Hatters as they head into the second quarter. So split screen time, get all the games going.
I don't have the brain power for this, Kaz. Interpreting these stats, watching another game, watching this game.
Watching this frantic game here as well. It's
I don't
not
get
like
paid enough for this.
So back out on court, Davida Dale controls it for Manchester. Warren all alone. 3 is good. And you can't leave Annie Warren that open. She's the all-time leading three-point shooter at Stony Brook University in New York, where she graduated from. And give her some daylight behind the arc. She's going to make you pay. And Bro can't answer for Durham. An offensive rebound, though, will give them another chance. As Bennett passes out, it's picked up by Fernandez Pardo. Too short, and Warren tried to save the ball in, but we got a whistle on the floor as the ball was kicked, I think, before Warren was able to grab it.
The Durham possession from the sideline, 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Lucas calling for the screen.
Lucas.
Into Ottawil Salisbury. Out to Bennett, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Spins out. And tips into the hands of Ottawil Salisbury, who can't finish on the putback. But they're the kind of players Manchester just really need to box out on, don't they?
Yeah, they really do.
So another chance, a fresh 14 again for Durham. Fernandez Pardo driving baseline. She's met by Thomas Johnson. And ball's knocked out of bounds. And Williams not happy she didn't save it in, but that's good hands, isn't it? You're forcing the other team to reset. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Five seconds. Bennett looking for some space. Gibbs down the baseline. Doesn't get it to fall. And again, Thomas Johnson for Manchester, drive into the basket, muscles away inside, and another 2 for Manchester. Rose 3, too strong. Kennedy Hopawati tips it to Dale. Warren into Williams in the corner, 3, splashes in. And Danny Williams up to 11 points.
I think Durham is starting to slow down a little bit now. You know, they're really a bit more cautious and they're missing a lot more shots.
There's another steal from Dale as she steps through to the basket. Doesn't go, but Williams is there and puts it back in. And how many times have we seen Danny Williams do that now?
I know.
And a quick swing here in the second quarter. A 21-point lead for Manchester after a 4-point lead going into the second. Ottawil Salisbury loses it, picked up by Thomas Johnson. Thomas Johnson going all the way to that hoop. Count that. And the foul. Manchester are on fire here in the second quarter, up to 42 points with 4 minutes to play in the second. So foul is on Fernandez Pardo. Fourth team foul, and you look at the foul disparity there, Hannah. 4 team fouls for Durham, none for Manchester. Very disciplined.
Yeah, they really have been.
So Thomas Johnson at the foul line, and we'll see Wells back in for Durham. Thomas Johnson completes the three-point play. And it's been a huge second quarter for Manchester, a 23-3 run.
Yeah, I think Manchester are just playing with that little bit more intensity right now. Again, I don't want to keep bringing this up, but I just feel like, you know, with Durham having such a short bench, it's really not helping them today.
It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
And
you know, they're making more mistakes.
Another steal. Warren can't get her shot to go, but takes the contact, and Tavina Dale is everywhere on the court.
Number 7, Katie Bennett.
I think it's 5. Hannah's going to check on the stats and interpret the code in the background as Katie Bennett is called for the foul, and Annie Warren back at the foul line for Manchester. And that puts Durham on 5 team fouls, so the rest of the way for the last 3:52, it's going to be free throws when Durham foul.
Yeah, no, I can't interpret this. I was trying to work. It doesn't even match up, Kaz.
Let's say 5. I think she's got 5. We'll see if the table can get it sorted at halftime. Bennett at the halfway line, and all of Manchester, every single player is going after that ball like it's the biggest Christmas present under the tree.
Yeah, I know. I think Coach Bailey's made a really great play here. She's put in a zone press, and I think it's really tiring Durham out, forcing the turnovers and getting those steals.
And obviously, head coach Ian Bailey has the luxury of a deeper bench than Durham with their 8 players, as Fernandez Pardo hits a big shot there for Durham. That was much needed. As Dale's jumbled, but it doesn't matter. She's going to make that anyway.
It was like she took a look to see anyone else open. No, I'll take it.
I'll go. Bro, short jumper. That doesn't drop. A rebound for Dale. Swings it to Warren. Her 3 is good. Annie Warren making it rain here in Manchester. 16 points leading all scorers.
She's absolutely lit that scoreboard up.
She's been fantastic. As Durham look to cut into this lead, Manchester up to 50 points here in the first half. Step back for Fernandez Pardo. Doesn't go, and Warren grabs another board. And Thomas Johnson, shot doesn't go, but some of these passes, Hannah, how are they catching them? It's amazing.
I know.
Shaw has it stolen away. Fernandez Pardo racing down the court. Stepping through, and it's that scoop layup doesn't fall, but that's usually very successful for Fernandez Pardo. Dale slows it down, gives us a break from this frantic pace of the last few possessions. And she skips through inside. Doesn't go, but it will be Manchester ball. So Eva Karashaisa and Nicolette Fairley back into the game for Manchester.
Take your seat, Anastasia Warren.
And Annie Warren heading to the bench. And Annie Warren just 1 point off her season high so far. And we're not even at half-time.
I know.
Warren, 6 seconds on the shot clock. Sorry, that's Williams. Fairley spins. 1 second and a travel call. So Durham will get the ball back. The Manchester defence has been stifling here on Durham in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think they're really picking their moments to kind of press, and they're playing it really well.
And 30 points for Manchester in this quarter alone. Gives them a big lead over Durham here, approaching the 90-second mark of the first half. Fernandez Pardo. On to Bro. Bro driving inside. Layup's good. And she's going to go to the foul line. That's a tough move and a really tough finish.
Yeah, no, that was brilliant. The power that she had then to get up off the floor at that length was, yeah.
It's been fantastic to watch. And Durham also, they seem like they're going left a lot. They're finding that sort of lane to the left, and it's the left side that they're able to get to the basket.
Yeah, it's like they've found the weakness in the defense, and they're really using it to their advantage.
So Bro at the line, 14.2 points per game, 4.8 rebounds and 2 assists. Can't get the three-point play. And it's back with Georgia Anderson for Manchester. Fairley driving all the way to the basket, and she's going to go to the foul line. This is literally blow for blow, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And that is a big foul call. So that is 3 fouls on Wells. And Hannah, you mentioned it earlier, with a short roster, 3 fouls is going to be difficult for Durham to play with.
Yeah, it is. It's dangerous, and I think it's kind of important now to see how Coach Davey, reacts to this, and especially going into the second half.
And would you expect us to maybe come out? You don't want to pick up a last foul in the last minute, 12 seconds of the half?
Yeah, definitely.
Otter Will Salisbury. And Fairley racing down the court to knock it out of bounds. And it's just the sheer effort that Manchester are playing with. I know that sounds silly because every team plays with effort, but you can just see it, can't you?
Yeah.
They're just chasing the ball down. So Bennett into Bro. Otter Will Salisbury back to Bro, has space, three's up. Not that time. And Sandy Williams with another rebound for Manchester. Pass into Kennedy Hopoate, and a jump ball is called. And that will stay with Manchester. But you can see there the defender's just getting straight on to Bridie as soon as she touches the ball.
Yeah. That double team there, I think that's a key strength of their defense, Durham. I think it's really good that they're seeing that. They're not allowing that pass inside and not allowing that movement.
So a timeout called by Coach Rhian Bailey for Manchester. 47.8 seconds to go, and a 52-24 lead for Durham. Sorry, no, for Manchester. Over Durham. For Manchester over Durham. The stat headings are throwing me.
I think so. I think it's just sent us both off, hasn't it?
But a huge quarter there for Manchester, Hannah. I know we've still got 47 seconds to play, but a 31-8 run, and that's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I think it just shows how important Manchester are taking this last game. They come out, they had a really good play with this press, and I think they've used it to their advantage, and they've really unsettled Durham and not allowed them to even get the ball over the halfway line, got those cheeky steals under the basket. And I think that's just really kind of shown that it's reflected in the scoreline.
Absolutely. So leading the way for Durham is Eliza Bro, 10 points. Shanique Lucas with 7 for Manchester. Annie Warren with a huge 16 points, and Danny Williams following with 13. So if you're Durham here, kind of heading towards half-time, looking at this deficit, but you've got a couple of possessions here where you can just try and finish strong, can't you?
Yeah, really go for it. You've got a 10-minute break, go at it, get that momentum going, and really kind of help bring the positivity back,
Head into half-time on a positive note as Williams catch and shoot. Her three doesn't go. as Otta Will-Salisbury swings it round to Bennett. Bro, her three won't go as that was an offensive foul called on Durham, and that will be on Otta Will-Salisbury, and that's her third. So 2 players for Durham on 3 fouls before half-time, Hannah.
Yeah, that's it's worrying.
Karashaita hands it over to Anderson. You see Bro all over her player. Back out to Anderson. Thought about the shot. And an offensive foul call on the other side for Manchester. And that'll be on Heather Karashaita. Just her first foul.
Yeah, she wasn't quite set on that screen there, and I think she dropped her shoulder a little bit.
So Durham can hold for the final possession here as Casey Bennett looks to hand it off. Danny Williams throws it above her head. Chased down, fairly nearly had it, but it's back into the hands of Bro, who's going to launch from near the halfway line. Doesn't get it to go. Basket will be waved off as after the buzzer, but again, just a frantic end to the first half, as we haven't seen all game, but a huge 51-24 lead for Manchester over Durham heading into half-time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that last quarter there. It really says all the scoreline, you know, 31-8, I think it's still reading at. And Manchester have just been on that run, you know, and Durham haven't been able to stop it, and they haven't been able to kind of regain any control. And I think, you know, Coach Davies really going to have a rethink, see how they can suppress this Manchester defence and find their openings, really. You know, I think we've been talking about the fouling quite a lot, but what we also have to recognise is that, you know, that actually is a testament as well to how hard Durham are playing and how, you know, aggressive they're being. You know, they're not holding back. Yes, they've got a short roster, but they're not, you know, taking their foot off the gas at all. On defence, they're being aggressive. They are being tough, and I think sometimes you do have to remember as well that, you know, they do have you know, they're away, they have that disadvantage. But, you know, you don't always get the same home court advantage, you know, with fouling. So, you know, I think they are doing really well, and they just need to chip at this now.
Absolutely, that's what you've got to do, isn't it? Take it possession by possession.
Yeah.
Kind of, you don't sort of go, oh no, we're down 20, 30. You can see there, Danny Williams dropping 11 points in that quarter, and Annie Warren with 8 in the quarter. And for Durham, it was Shanique Lucas and Marina Fernandez-Pardo, just 3 points each, and Eliza Bro with a 2 in that second quarter. So Manchester really stepping things up here, and they'll certainly have that loss to Leicester last weekend in the back of their minds.
Yeah, they will, you know, and I think for them that was such a disappointing loss, that for them they're really going to want to, you know, come back, and that's what we saw again, you know, the Gladiators game was off the back of their loss from Newcastle. So I think, you know, for them it's something that they really kind of work on, and it shows that they go back in practice and they reflect and they learn from their mistakes and see what can be improved, see what needs, you know, what needs refining. And again, that's a testament to the coaching staff.
And that's it's a sprint, isn't it? It's a marathon, not a sprint throughout the course of the season, because these are things that you're going to learn. This is a new group together, with the exception of, you know, Lauren, Georgia, Hannah, and Nicolette, who have played together.
The donkey's years.
But it's a new group that you're putting together in a new franchise, new coaching staff, where Krumesh was in at the start of the season, Rianne taken over, but it's a learning curve, isn't it?
It really is, you know, and I think it's a testament to them as players and their experience and their IQ that they can overcome those hurdles, and, you know, the instability of the coaching roster and, you know, players going and things like that. And I think it's just kind of, it shows them as a team and how well they can just come together as a unit.
And for me, so I was looking at just what we've seen here in the first half, this really looks like, perhaps it's recency bias, but this looks to be sort of the most connective we've seen them throughout
I think you're right there. I think, you know, we've seen snippets of it on offense, you know, when they've been able to move the ball really well and work on their plays and, you know, pass pass the ball and look for those open shots. But today it's been, those NFL passes. It's like, they just know that there are other teammates at the other end of the court. So I think you're right there. There is definitely that kind of flow within the team that just seems to be synchronised.
It does, definitely. And Davina Dale's just been, she's got a fantastic court vision, able to see her teammates everywhere, but everybody getting involved. And Danny Williams, again, just absolutely hustling so hard. And she told us to shut up, that she doesn't need the first quarter to warm up, does she?
I know.
So for Durham as well, it's been Eliza Bro. She had those big 8 points in the first quarter, 2 in the second. So Manchester obviously been able to adapt to that and maybe close her down a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. She's such a tough player, and I've kind of she's been really working well and reading the screens that Harriet's been coming to set for her. I'm going to call it the Harriet handoff because I feel like that seems to be one of their main sets. And she's really good at reading kind of where her defender's going and how she's taking her defender to basket. That's giving her that little bit of advantage when she's going up. So yeah, I can't wait to see what else she can bring into the third quarter.
Absolutely. And when you go into a locker room at halftime and you're down 27. I said that with such confidence, didn't I?
Quick maths.
Down 27. What are you thinking as a team? I'm not saying you've been in that situation.
I have. Don't worry, Kaz. I can relate.
What are you thinking as a team when you're thinking, how do we need to come out here in the third quarter?
It's mainly about keeping that momentum up and that morale. That's a real big thing, especially, when you've got players that are on 3 fouls and they may go into themselves a little bit. You need to kind of be like, no, we need to stick at this. We need to stay aggressive, keep this intensity up, and try and match that other team. There are going to be runs. Manchester are going to miss. They're not going to have continuous runs, and Durham just need to make sure that they take advantage of that every single time. They're getting those second chance points. They're taking it, like we said, play by play.
And like we saw them come out in that first quarter, the pace and the intensity they played with, like you said, hard to keep up for 40 minutes, but
really
maybe that rest at half-time, we'll see a bit more of that, like we did in the first.
Yeah, definitely.
So before we take a quick break for half-time, we'll just give you an update on the Oaklands Wolves and Sheffield Hatters game. Oaklands Wolves with a 48-32 lead as they are a minute or so away from half-time. The Wolves having swapped things in the second quarter, and we give you the stats, but they've got the same issue, so I'll go to the table and see if we can get some up-to-date stats. So keep it tuned to the Super League Basketball W YouTube channel. We're going to take a quick break for half-time, and we'll be back with you in around 6 minutes' time.
Yes, people, it's your boy Brandon Hosanna, aka BSH the host, and we are down here, as you can see, at, as much as this is going to pain me to say, one of the most beautiful stadiums in football. Yes, the Etihad Stadium, because we, Manchester Basketball, are down here today to do the stadium tour, have a look at the academy, see what's going on around Manchester, and see how they do it on the other side of the sporting world. Let's go and have a look and see what the tour's about. So we're just in the Man City changing room. As you can see, as much again as we are saying it, some of the best players in the world have been around here. Amazing players. Obviously, both teams, women's and men's, have been in here, got to see how it feels sitting around. As you can see, the Oval, Man City crest, everything is oozing the team. Exactly what we want to bring down to Manchester Basketball.
Who keeps the dressing room the most clean? The clean, yeah. Who walks around and just makes sure it's spotless, or their area is spotless?
I'd say me and KO and Junior probably do a decent job of that.
And who's just says
I'm gonna leave that one.
Okay, we'll keep quiet. So we are pitch sides, as you can see, Etihad Stadium. Nick, as I can tell, I feel like you're a City fan at heart. But before I go on to the question, my question that I'm feeling at the moment is, before a game, how'd you get yourself into a zone? Because obviously, as we heard, coming out to 58,000 people, that must be a lot for footballers. But obviously, I know it's a little bit different in the side of basketball. What do you do to get yourself into the zone?
For me, I just lock into the music, put the headphones on, and just stick to my routine warm-up and just put up game shots. And yeah, man, I just lock in with the music, make sure the vibe is right.
Nice.
Got the game day playlist on Spotify.
Of course. And if you could be any footballer who you think plays like you, or could be you, if you were to switch sports, who would you be?
I'm gonna have to go with Holland still.
Okay.
Gonna have to pick him, man. Man City, he holds it down, you know?
We was debating earlier. We got told he's 6'5". We were thinking we don't really believe it.
Honestly, but seeing him the other day, I'm gonna have to give it to him. Bro.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to give it to him. It
take
looks
it.
like he'd be a solid 3 guard.
How tall are you?
I'm about 6'3", 6'4".
So Nick is going to be the Haaland of basketball. That's what we're going to call you now. That's what I'm going to say on the mic when I'm
There you
done
go,
with the
man.
games.
I'll take that.
I'll take it.
I'll take that.
Bro,
I'm taking
thank
that.
you.
Appreciate you, bro.
I'm sitting with Danny, and Danny's sitting in Pep Guardiola's seat. And obviously Pep
Pep
calls
Guardiola's
himself the
box
maestro
under where it says hello,
of
hello
sporting
up there.
world.
So
I just
sometimes
asked Nick,
Pep
how'd you get
doing
yourself into the zone on the game day? Because obviously coming out to 54,000 people must be a lot for a player, but how do you get yourself into the zone when you're about to go into a game?
I just try to stick to the same routine, the same rhythm.
Okay.
Every single game, I try to do the same thing the night before. So it's all just natural to me. I'm in the same process, same approach.
Okay. And I asked earlier, DJ in the locker room, who's got the best music taste out of the team?
Oh, I might have to give it to Lo.
Okay.
She's
Okay, guys,
normally the one on the aux for practice in the locker room. She's always on the aux, so I'll give it to her.
Okay, I'll take that. We're going to call you Pep now because you're sitting in Pep's seat. That's going to give you the maestro. Right, I'm going to put Makai in the hot seat a little bit because this is where the interviews happen, as you can see after a game. So Makai, I asked earlier because I'm working around. Who's got the best music taste? Are you guys?
Man, honestly, I think from what I've heard, probably DJ. He got a variety of music. So, but
DJ
he
did
relates to
claim,
everybody.
when I asked him earlier, he claimed that he's got the best. Okay.
And he's always on the aux too. So I think he be hogging the aux a little bit. So
Okay.
I don't really hear much from anybody else. Yeah.
And what about, who do you think, like, when someone else puts on a song around the change room, you go, ooh, that's a little bit, we don't want to hear that.
I haven't really, I ain't heard too much bad music
It's just-
for real.
it's just vibes.
Like
It's just vibes.
like DJ will throw on a song maybe that I just won't know,
Okay.
but it's not really terrible, not really much terrible music played around the locker room.
Okay, so sometimes you hear a song, you go, actually, I might put that in the playlist.
Yeah,
Okay,
Like,
sweet.
let me see what that song talking about, man.
Okay,
Give it a
cool.
listen.
DJ's winning at the moment, that's what we're
Yeah,
hearing.
yes sir,
Bro,
yes sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate.
I think it's important to keep the game excited every night.
I would say have the fans enjoy the game.
So that wraps up the day down here at the Etihad for the stadium tour. Got to see everything behind the scenes, training facilities, the stadium, the locker rooms, all of that stuff. Thank you so much for Man City for letting us come down. It's been a pleasure. We hope to see anyone from Man City down at MCR games because we need your support throughout the season. But this has been Brandon. I've been BSH, the host alongside that. Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you guys soon.
Welcome back in to the National Basketball Performance Centre as we get ready for the third quarter between Manchester Basketball and the Durham Palatinates. Manchester currently with a 51-24 lead as we head into the third quarter. And Hannah, we've finally got our hands on some stats, haven't we?
Yes, we have. The old school way. Nice, trusty paper.
A nice print out from the table. Thank you, Sable. So Davida Dale has...
She has... Wait, what are we looking at?
At the steals.
She has 6 steals.
6 steals. That's huge.
And then, you know, but you've got Danny Williams close behind her as well with 4. So, you know, I think for them at the minute, they're competing about, you know, who can take that trophy home with them.
And we can see there, so Durham with 17 turnovers to Manchester's 9, and Manchester have really been tough defensively, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. You know, I think that press break that they've put in, the full court press that they've put in, I think is, you know, really upsetting and disrupting Durham's flow. So I think that's what, you know, probably caused quite a few of those turnovers. And I think that's something that they really need to kind of hone in on and refine. And I'm sure that's something that, you know, Coach Davies had a word with in the locker room.
So leading the way for Manchester, it's been Annie Warren. She's got 16 points, 1 off her career high this season in the UK. And Danny Williams, 13 points for her, along with 7 rebounds and 2 assists and those 4 steals that you mentioned. So coming out of halftime, do you expect Manchester to keep the pressure up?
Yeah, I think they have to. You know, you cannot take your foot off the gas. You know, yes, there is a big lead, but at the end of the day, you know, like we always say, points difference does come into effect sometimes. And again, last week, Nottingham were a really big example that, you know, they had a 27-point comeback. So
absolutely, and sometimes that's something teams have to learn, isn't it? As we're back out on court for the third quarter, but playing with a lead and keeping that lead. So Williams starts things off where she left off with a 3-pointer and takes her up to a huge 16 points. And the lead is now up to 30 for Manchester. Otta Will Salisbury hands it off to Bennett. Bennett back to Bro. And Lauren Thomas-Johnson was called for the foul, but her reaction was absolutely wonderful. Called for the foul, reached in, so that will be the first foul on Thomas-Johnson. Durham reset from the sideline. Bennett looking for some space to the basket. Back to Otta Will Salisbury. Bro finds a way off the rim, picked up by Otta Will Salisbury and rejected from behind. I think that was Davida Dale.
It really was, but, you know, you had Annie Warren underneath there really, you know, putting the pressure on, being like, wait, what, all the way up there? Don't think so, don't think so.
Fernandez Pardo's doubled out to Bro. And this Manchester defense is really relentless. As Otta Will Salisbury steps through, can't get the shot to fall. And Kennedy Hopoate into Warren under the basket, hands it off. And Kennedy Hopoate is fouled, and Annie Warren again, right place, right time, and a really great decision there to pass back out to Kennedy Hopoate.
Yeah. But like, I think that should, you know, that's an example of what we were talking about at half-time, that synchronization between them, where it's like they all kind of just know where each other is.
And sometimes it takes a while, doesn't it, to get to that point. You know, sometimes people think, oh, you put a team together, you have a few practices, but it's a season-long
thing,
isn't it?
Is.
So that foul was the second on Fernandez Pardo, as Kennedy Hopoate misses the first free throw. And Kennedy Hopoate out of Brisbane. Played NBL 1 South this summer for the Nunawading Spectres. Gets a second shot to fall. As Manchester picking up full court here. Otta Will Salisbury to Lucas. Bro drive into the hoop. That was a nice little up and under. And Bro gets Durham's first points of the quarter. She leads Durham with 12. Williams, Kennedy Hapuate. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Williams, 3, doesn't drop. But that's a good look for Williams, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, most looks are a good look for Danny Williams.
They are.
Davida Dale with her 7th steal of the game. And Williams will pass into Kennedy Hapuate. Had the advantage there, but can't get the shot to fall. Rose 3 doesn't go. As Williams pulls it down. And Manchester setting up here. Dale finds a way all to the basket.
That's good news, the stats are back.
Oh, amazing. Oh, now we can, now we know what's going on.
Yeah.
So Davida Dale, a huge 7 rebounds, 6 assists.
Oh, no, they've just not updated yet.
And 7 steals.
Yeah, no, it's not updated yet. It's not started the quarter.
We've got headers, though, so I'm OK. If anybody doesn't know what we're talking about, just pop on live stats.
Honestly. Just take what we can get at the minute.
So Dale at the line has just been absolutely fantastic for Manchester this season. Doesn't get the second shot to fall, but has been so crucial. That massive triple-double she had against Caledonia a few weeks ago. Just a real all-round player and a really tough defender, as she just shows consistently with the way she steals the ball. She uses that long wingspan and her length to be so disruptive.
Yeah, she really does.
Thomas Johnson manages to keep that inside the lines as Hannah Shaw back into the game. Was called for 3 seconds in the key.
That was tough, you know, she was doubled. And sometimes, you know, you can just get stuck in those positions.
And again, good defense, though, from Manchester. As Durham, good defense from Durham, apologies, on that last possession, as Lucas passes over to Fernandez Pardo. Fernandez Pardo for 3. Doesn't get it to fall. And Williams with the rebound. And Williams with a through-the-legs pass over to Dale. Gets it back behind the head. Dale driving to the basket, kicks it out to Thomas Johnson. And that doesn't drop, and we're going to add that one onto our passes that were fantastic but didn't end up in a score. So 56-26 to Manchester over Durham. And apologies if we have lost the scoreboard on the screen. As whilst we did get our headings back on live stats, it seems there is a problem with live stats for the third quarter.
Yeah.
So score is not updating on the website and also on our screen as the two are linked. So me and Hannah will keep you updated with the score. It is currently 56 to Manchester, 28 to Durham in the third quarter. 6 minutes 6 to play. And again, Danny Williams coming out firing here in the second half. 16 points, and Annie Warren also on 16 for Manchester.
Yeah, she's just, you know, she lights up the scoreboard, and she's just so reliable, I think, as well. You know, if you put her on court, she's going to add to that scoreboard, and she's going to, give you the performance.
And for Durham, Bro able to hit there in the third, takes her up to 12 points. And Shanique Lucas on 7, and we haven't seen Lucas hit as many after that first quarter.
No, we haven't. I wonder if maybe, she's kind of having to take other considerations. She's, looking at moving the ball a bit more, setting her team up with their plays. But, there's still time yet.
Oh, there certainly is. Still a lot of basketball left to play. And as you said, Durham proceed to chip into this, taking possession by possession. And it's those little wins, isn't it, within the game?
Yeah.
So for the next minute, can you stop Manchester scoring? Can you out-rebound them? Can you hold Danny Williams to under her average in the third quarter? It's those things like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think, that also comes from the coach, what he's putting into place to execute those plans.
So back out on the floor, 56-28, Manchester lead over Durham, just under 6 minutes to play. The ball is swung to Hannah Shaw, who gets the short runner to go. And takes Shaw up to 4 points. Hannah Shaw, who was with the Sheffield Hatters last season. No, sorry, she was with the Manchester Giants last season. She was with the Sheffield Hatters before. She's not going to be happy about that. Sorry, Hannah. Spent time with the Sheffield Hatters and made the move back to Manchester. As Durham answered on that possession. And Warren from the foul line, nothing but net. And that is a season high for Annie Warren, 18 points in league play. She's had a fantastic first half. As Lucas drives to the basket, high off the glass, and just on cue, as we mentioned, she hadn't scored for a little while. She says, Hannah, Kaz, I'm going to show you. I'm going to score. And she's got that great drive, hasn't she? We said she's so quick, but the way she uses the glass, like really, she gets the ball so high in the air because obviously players defending her are going to be taller, so she's able to get the ball over them.
Yeah, and that takes a lot of skill. Because you have to also time the spin on the ball because too much spin and it goes flying or it just slams back off the backboard. But no, she's really tuned it to perfection.
And it's great to watch, isn't it? She converts the three-point play, dropped 31 points against London earlier this season. And we're back. The scoreboard is back. It looks like it's slightly out of sync as the score is 60-33.
Hey, it's only 1 point. I'm taking it.
And Lucas again racing all the way to the basket. Williams had a hand on that and was able to knock it back. So the last touch was Durham. But again, a Shanique Lucas just absolutely racing down the court. Anderson for Manchester against Bro. Bro, such a dangerous defender. You can see her there, hands all over the place. Williams, 4 seconds on the shot clock, pulls up from the elbow. Not that time. Fernandez-Pardo had space there, drives the lane, draws the foul. And just looking at the foul count here for Manchester, they've, again, I've said it before, but they've been very disciplined throughout this game, haven't they? Really kept themselves with the strong defense that they're playing. They've really been able to keep themselves out of any kind of foul trouble.
Yeah, they have. But I think, they're starting to get a little bit sloppy with it. I think there's a bit too many reaching in for the ball. When you go to get a hand in, sometimes you might hit all ball, but at the end of the day, if the ref sees you going, they'll just call what they want to see.
So Fernandez-Pardo hits the first for Durham. Spent 3 seasons with the Newcastle Eagles. Goes 2 of 2 from the line. And her triple-double against Nottingham was the league's the 30th in the SLB WBBL era. As Davida Dale had the 29th just the week before. So when, one triple-double comes along, you get another one straight away. Dale into Shaw. Bennett had a hand on it, saved by Warren from the foul line. And that's good, 20 points for Annie Warren. And also Will Salisbury catches the long pass. And last touch will be Manchester basketball. Can we please get a compilation of Lauren Thomas-Johnson's reactions to calls on the floor?
Yeah. I'd like that, thank you.
Timeout called by head coach Lee Davey for Durham. So 62-35, I think we've lost the scoreboard again, but 62-35 for Manchester over Durham. It's been the Annie Warren show, 20 points, and Danny Williams, 16 points for Manchester. Liza Bro dropping in 14, and Shanique Lucas with 10 for Durham.
What stats do you want, Kaz? I've got them all.
Steals. All of them. All of them.
We've got Davida Dale on 7 steals now.
Yeah. 7 steals, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. That's impressive.
Are we going for another triple-double?
She could be. Does she want the 31st triple-double?
Just before Christmas, she's on 7-7-7. 7 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 7 steals. She's got a good shot here.
She has, certainly has. And I think, we've mentioned it before, but Davida is just such an all-round player, isn't she? And that just epitomises it, doesn't it?
It's there, written in, it's fact. You can't dispute that evidence.
And Danny Williams, a double-double for her, 10 points, 16 rebounds, 2 assists and 4 steals. And Annie Warren, shooting 88%, has 20 points.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I do.
And for Durham, sorry, go ahead.
No, something that we need to look at as well is the index. That's something I think sometimes that's overlooked. And I think Manchester at the minute where it's all well-rounded, there's not one player that's really kind of like, in the minus. And that's just, I think, a demonstration of the bench,
And 15 points from turnovers for Manchester to Durham's 4 as we're back out on the court. Durham with some work to do here in the third quarter. As a pass is stolen away by Kennedy Hopewate. Williams to Thomas Johnson. Thomas Johnson keeps it alive, can't finish, but Danny Williams is not giving up the basketball today. Dale timed to settle the 3, doesn't drop. But Danny Williams being absolutely relentless, isn't she?
Yeah, she absolutely is.
Bennett swings it round to Bro. Off to Will Salisbury. Fernandez Pardo to the basket. Nicolette Fairley knocked the ball out, but it stays with Durham as Bennett runners too strong. And it's Thomas Johnson that comes away with it. Out to Dale. Williams in the corner. 3 is good.
It's her spot. It's her spot.
That corner 3, 19 points for Williams. And a 30-point lead for Manchester. Bro. She had that big first quarter. Davida Dale with steal number 8. And an offensive foul called on Manchester. A bit of a tangle there.
Yeah.
And that'll be on Kennedy Hopewate. That's her second. So Durham will get the ball back. And
substitution for Manchester coming into the game, Emma Karashaita.
Substitution for Manchester as Emma Karashaita checks back in. Lauren Thomas-Johnson heads to the bench. As Bennett is doubled, passes over to Bro. Bro splits the defense, goes to the basket and gets that to fall. And Eliza Bro, such a difficult move.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that went in.
No chance. No idea.
Skips through the defense, scoop layup drops, and gets the contact, so puts it to the line. And that is going to put Bryony Kennedy Hopewate on 3 fouls for Manchester. So 2 quick fouls there on Kennedy Hopewate. And she'll take a seat as Hannah Shaw checks back in. So Eliza Bro leading Durham so far, 16 points. Doesn't get the free throw, nearly chases down her own rebound, but it's Eva Karashaita saves it for Manchester. Karashaita over to Fairley. Fairley into Williams, what a pass! Williams gets it to go!
One of my favourite things about Nicolette is her passing. She can really be so precise with it, and she can get the pass to you where you need it.
It's great to watch, isn't it? Like when you have players that have that connection, and those passes are so fun to watch.
Yeah. It's pressure though. When you receive one of those passes, you're like, right, I need to score this now.
Bennett. Lucas with a long 3. Doesn't fall. Karashaita with Another rebound for Manchester.
Great box out there.
We love a good box out.
We do.
Dale. Runs into traffic. Williams has space. 3 goes, because it's never in doubt when Danny Williams lines up like that from behind the arc, up to 24 points. And another steal for Davida Dale, racing down the court, will lay it in. And by my count, that should be 9 steals and 9 points for Davida Dale. Live stats can catch up with me as we approach the last minute of the third quarter. Fernandez Pardo was completely unopposed and nails the 3.
Yeah, I think Manchester's zone just snoozed off a little bit there, but it was a great shot.
Williams using the screen from Karashita. Back to Karashita, her 3. Doesn't drop, chases down the rebound, and a jump ball's called. Will go with Durham, but great hustle there from Karashita.
So Davida Dale is on 9 points, 9 steals, and 9 assists.
And 7 rebounds. We were talking about a triple-double. She might be looking at a quadruple-double.
She might be.
What an absolutely fantastic showing from Davida Dale. That's unreal.
What a Christmas present.
All anybody wants for Christmas is a quadruple-double.
Yeah.
Fernandez Pardo, 2-second difference between the shot and game clock. Fernandez Pardo has to pass out of it, and a travel is called. Again, strong D from Manchester. Manchester will get the ball back with 11.4 seconds. Fairley, 6 seconds. Karashita, Anderson with 2 seconds, needs to put something up here. Anderson steps through, and a travel will be called. So at the end of the third quarter is a 72-40 lead for Manchester over Durham. A huge third quarter from Danny Williams there. And Davida Dale, 9 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, and 9 steals. Danny Williams with those 24 points, and Annie Warren on 20. So a real all-round team effort from Manchester.
Really has. You know, Danny Williams now getting off those 3-point shots. She's on 50% from the 3-point line. And you can't really ask for much more than that. And I think what's great is that, you know, Manchester recognise when certain players are hot, and when, you know, when it's time to just keep giving them the ball. You know, Danny's gone on a run now, so Manchester are looking for that, looking to get her on the 3-point line and setting her up.
And for Durham, it's Eliza Bro leading the way, 16 points for her. Shanique Lucas on 10 and Marina Fernandez Pardo on 10. And Eliza Bro as well, having a good third quarter there. We've seen both her and Shanique Lucas drive into the basket. When they've done that, they've been very successful, haven't they?
They really have, yeah. And I think, you know, they need to kind of make an effort of that more. You know, they've got that great skill that, you know, allows them to curl to the basket, and, you know, they're not afraid of the contact. So I think they just, you know, need to keep going at it. I think for me now, you know, as coach, if I was coaching Durham, I think for me I'd be looking at the turnovers. You know, really 22 turnovers in, you know, 3 quarters. It's not great. I think that's something that they, you know, they need to be work on and really take care of the ball. But to be fair to them, you know, Durham, they're matched against Manchester with the rebounds. You know, both teams on 35 rebounds, which, you know, when a scoreboard like that, that's quite rare. You know, you usually expect one team to be kind of over and winning over the other team on rebounding, but no, it's matched up.
It certainly is. So one more quarter to play, 72-14, Manchester lead over Durham. And Durham matching their highest scoring quarter so far, 16 points in both the first and third, as Nicolette Fairley lets it fly from behind the arc and drains it from deep. And a great start there to the fourth quarter for Manchester.
Yeah, keeping that momentum going.
Fernandez-Pardo keeps the ball in Durham's hands. Shot's too strong, picked up by Warren. Karashaita underneath the basket, gets it out to Fairley. Nicolette Fairley, back-to-back threes. And what a pass from Emma Karashaita to save the ball and get it into the hands of Nicolette.
I'm saying nothing.
Manchester are putting on a show here.
Really
We've got the Harlem Globetrotters out there today. Bennett against Karashaita. Drives to the basket and puts it in. As Bennett goes up to 6 points, playing in her 5th season for Durham. Warren catch and shoot three off the rim, but picked up by who else? Nicolette Fairley gets it to Georgia Anderson. And Annie Warren back out. The ball movement here from Manchester as step back three doesn't go. And Durham will take control. There's some flair on these passes today, Hannah.
There really is. You know, I think Durham have sat back into a bit of a zone, and I think Manchester are making the most of it. But, you know, that's a demonstration of how tough their on-ball defence, you know, when they're playing man-to-man defence, how tough they actually are. That, you know, Manchester haven't been allowed to get as many shots off us as they would normally like.
Absolutely. Fairley puts up another three. That one bounces out, but Anderson saves it for Manchester. As Shaw with a hook shot banks it in.
I love Hannah's hook shot. It's so controlled, you know, and it's like she can just read where the basket is at the right angle. It's brilliant.
She takes the time, and she's very patient on offense. And Hannah Shaw this week named team manager for the under-16 girls GB team, and that's just a fantastic addition to the staff, and for young players being able to learn from someone like Hannah, really valuable.
Yeah. I mean, I did. Yeah, she was, you know, she was a senior player when I was young, so she was on my team, and I learned a lot from her.
And Davida Dale back on the court, so we'll go for triple-double watch. We'll not get ahead of ourselves. We're on triple-double watch to start with. But 9 points, 9 assists, 9 steals, and 7 rebounds for Davida Dale. Just an incredible stat line. As the ball is in Dale's hands, over to Warren, lines it up, knocks it down. 10 assists for Davida Dale. And Manchester, they are playing so well, so connected, so in sync, aren't they, today?
Yeah, they really are.
Fernandez-Pardo turns inside. Kennedy Hapuase grabs it. Warren lines it up, spins out, rebound, number 8 for Davida Dale. Passes into Shaw, banks it in again. Buckets for Hannah Shaw, rebounds for Davida Dale. This is a team coming into their own.
It really is.
85-42. 6:30 to play here in the 4th quarter. Bro, Ottawil Salisbury spins out, rebound number 9 for Davida Dale.
What was that about?
This is historic if Davida does manage to do this. Pass into Hannah Shaw, can it, and the foul. Hannah Shaw hit into the foul line. An assist number 11 for Davida Dale. This is a masterclass in everything.
It really is, and I think it's just, you know, a demonstration of kind of what's been going on in practice the last 2 weeks. You know, I think, especially coming back after the loss against Leicester last week, they've really kind of clearly put into practice things that Rianne's noticed that, you know, needs to be refined, and you know, that synchronisation's really demonstrating.
So Hannah Shaw just having to head to the bench. It looks like Lauren Thomas-Johnson will have to come in and shoot the shots. So it might be a cut or some blood on Hannah's hand, I think. So Thomas Johnson will shoot the foul shots.
I always wondered what would happen if you can't take your free throws. If somebody else has someone else has taken for you.
Thomas Johnson hits it. So does Hannah get credit in that?
That's what I'm saying. Who points?
They can share it.
Scoreline does that go on?
It does go on Lawrence, but they can share it. She can buy her a drink afterwards. So Thomas Johnson up to 8 points. Wells. Ottawil Salisbury keeps it in the hands of Durham. Fernandez Pardo's three doesn't go, and foul called. So it will stay Durham ball.
Foul called on number 12, Bridie Kennedy.
And that'll be foul number 4 on Bridie Kennedy Hapuate for Manchester.
First team foul of the quarter.
Just the first team foul of the quarter. It will be Durham ball. As Otter Wilson is fouled from behind by Thomas Johnson. And we're going to see Eva Karashaita check back in.
Foul called number 45.
Next time. Now.
So
So Eva Karashaita, and Eva has been really strong, hasn't she, for Manchester? So hasn't scored in the game, but it's the impact that she has off the ball, and you know, she makes those extra passes, or she gets a hand on the ball, knocks it out of bounds, but she's just a really strong team player.
And she boxes out.
She does box out.
She boxes
so
out.
You're a big fan.
I really am.
Bennett, as the ball is loose, Karashaita diving on it. To see Dale again using that long wingspan.
They will get possession on the sideline.
And it will be Durham ball.
Manchester is sitting in a 1-3-1 right now, so I'd like to see what Durham are going to play with it.
Bennett launches from deep, doesn't go. Lucas with a pass inside, bullet pass. It's stripped by Williams. As Dale goes to the basket, puts up a floater, gets her own rebound, and puts the ball back in the net. So 11 points, 9 rebounds, 12 assists for Davida Dale, along with 9 steals. Fernandez Pardo for 3, off the rim. Rebound number 10 for Davida Dale. That is a triple-double. What an absolutely incredible achievement from Dale as Williams lets it fly. And this is a Manchester team on fire, having the time of their lives out there on
They
court,
really
aren't
are. That was a beautiful little step-back move there.
So a steal. It's a 17-double score. Thomas Johnson comes up with it, drives to the basket, doesn't get it to go, bounces off the rim. That was in and out. As Manchester really fighting for everything here.
They really are. You know, considering the scoreline and you know the advantage they've got at the minute, they're just going after everything, and I think that's just kind of demonstrates how hard they're kind of going for this season.
So Davida Dale fouled on the shot, and
Davida Dale is fouled.
I mean, people are going to know because we've spoken about it relentlessly for the last quarter, but 11 points for Davida Dale, 11 rebounds, 12 assists, and 9 steals. 1 steal away from a quadruple double.
The scoreboard's telling us something different.
Oh, did that last one count? If that last one counted on the floor, that is absolutely historic from Davida Dale. What an incredible performance from her. A quadruple double. I don't think I've ever seen that in the top flight league, but we'll find out for you. But a huge game for Davida Dale. And congratulations to her. She had a triple-double against Caledonia, and she said, I am going to do even better than that. Have you seen that? Have you seen a quadruple-double?
I don't think I ever have.
So, second spins out. But this has just been, as we said, a real all-round team performance from Manchester. Wells bounces out, another rebound for Dale. Williams, deep 3, nothing but net. And Danny Williams takes Manchester up to 97. She's got 30 points in the game.
Oh, brilliant spin move there by Harriet.
And Otter Will Salisbury.
Dirty piece for Danny Williams.
Anderson into Karashaita. His double, kicks it out to Anderson. Her 3 won't fall. And Lucas in the corner grazes the rim, but it's an offensive board for Durham.
Oh, great move there.
And underneath the basket, Williams comes up with the steal. And Manchester with a chance to hit the 100-point mark here.
Yeah.
Still 3 minutes to play as Thomas Johnson's three doesn't fall.
Bennett comes away with the rebound, hands off to Fernandez Barlow.
Oswald Sulby saves it. Williams gets it though for Manchester under the basket. And again, it's just Manchester's defense and Williams, and again, the length of David Dale forcing those steals as Emma Karashaita gets in on the three-point action, takes Manchester to 100. And the bench are loving that, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are.
Wells goes against Williams. Oh, what a pass underneath to the cutting Lucas, doesn't get it to fall. Oh, that's so unfortunate for that one not to go.
That was great cut there.
As we've got a timeout called, so 2:11 to play. Manchester basketball 100, the Durham Palatinates 44. Just massive performances from everyone on this Manchester team.
Yeah, it has. It's been lights out shooting, you know, and I think this is what we want to see before Christmas. You know, this is kind of, it's a show of, you know, things falling into place, the team starting to kind of really connect together and kind of know the passing, the ball movement. Yeah, it's great. It's great to see.
It's fantastic. And like you said, it's important, isn't it? Heading into the Christmas break, you've got some time off. So Manchester will next be back in action against the Oakland Wolves on January the 11th. They now have a run of 5 away games before they're back here at home in March against the Sheffield Hatters. So that can be tough, can't it? A long road trip.
It really can, yeah. You know, it's tiring being on the road, and you, like we said before, you know, you don't have your home court advantage. So I think that's something that Manchester needs to take into consideration. I think, you know, they really can't kind of take their foot off the gas at all. But, you know, I think, you know, Durham have worked hard today. They really have. They're still hustling. They're still going after everything. I think, you know, Coach Davey now just needs to kind of reflect back on this, and they've got time now over the Christmas break to really consider, like, you know, what their next options are, and, you know, what is working for them, what isn't. But no, I think they've done themselves proud. They've worked really hard.
They certainly have, and there's a lot of potential, isn't there?
There really is.
This Durham team. They've only played 5 games before today, losing only to Oakland and Sheffield, and top 2 teams. They've got some really strong players out there that we've seen. The quickness, the speed of Shanique Lucas and Eliza Bro. I mean, that's going to cause a lot of problems for teams, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. You know, and the fitness is just astronomical.
It's incredible.
It really is.
Lucas doubled in the corner. Out to Wells. Shot's too strong. Warren picks it up. Warren swings it to Williams. Williams catch and shoot 3 off the rim. And Danny Williams, a season high 32 points for her as Fernandez Pardo pulls up for the long 2. And again, another rebound for Annie Williams, one of the smaller players on the court, but she doesn't care, that doesn't matter. Thomas Johnson into Kennedy Opoate, and that will be a foul on Oswald Salisbury.
That's her 5th foul.
So she'll be out of the game for Durham. And we'll see Eliza Bro check back in for Oswald Salisbury. Kennedy Opoate heading to the foul line.
Now I'm going to ask you a question, Kaz.
Yes.
Because, again, in all my years of playing, what happens because Wells is also on 4 fouls, if she gets fouled out? Can you keep a player on?
I believe you can play. I think it's 2 the minimum you can play with. You would then play, if they foul out, I believe you then play with 4 and keep going until, I don't know, you've maybe got 1 person left and they're just like, help me. I believe you can still play with...
You play with 4?
Yeah.
I've just never seen it before. Oh, nice pass.
As Williams skies in for the rebound, into the hands of Warren, racing down the court, all the way to the hoop, and Annie Warren season high. Bennett out to the corner. Lucas's shot is good from behind the arc, takes her up to 13. As we approach the last seconds of the fourth quarter, Annie Warren again driving to the basket, kicks it out to Anderson, and a foul called, an offensive foul called. That'll be on Warren as she drove.
That was great defense there by Bro. You know, she really read that well. She planted her feet, showed great discipline. She deserved that charge then.
Absolutely. I want this as another column. I need the stat sheet to be 10 times as long as it is. How many charges does someone take?
How many charges and box outs, Colin? In fact, let's petition FIBA.
Yeah.
So you can't get your headlines right. At these at least as well.
Fernandez-Pardo takes Durham up to 50 and takes herself to 13 points personal as the clock winds down and the Manchester bench on their feet. A huge statement win here from Manchester Basketball. 106 to 50 over Durham. Davida Dale with a historic quadruple double and massive performances all round. Annie Warren, 25 points for her, along with 5 rebounds and 2 assists. Danny Williams, 32 points, hitting 6 from behind the arc, with 13 rebounds, 3 assists and 6 steals. And the woman of the moment, Davida Dale, 12 points, 13 rebounds, 14 assists and 10 steals. That is historic.
It really is. And, you know, just seeing there the reactions of the team, it just shows, you know, it's a team effort. You know, they're celebrating their teammate, you know, and they've all helped her achieve that. And it's great to watch, Kaz.
It certainly was. And so congratulations to Manchester Basketball and the first win of the Rhiann Bailey era for Manchester Basketball.
I'm excited, Kaz. You know, I just think this is the potential here. It's great. I'm so excited.
And for Durham, you know, it's a tough loss coming off of a big win against Nottingham, but as we said, a lot of potential, a lot for the team to take. Eliza Bro, 16 points for her. She had a huge first quarter, along with 3 rebounds and an assist. And then 13 points from Shanique Lucas and Marina Fernandez-Pardo. Shanique Lucas also adding a couple of steals and 5 rebounds. Fernandez-Pardo, 7 rebounds and 3 assists. But a lot for them to take into the next game, isn't it?
Yeah, really. You know, I think the effort that they came out with in that first quarter, sorry, that's the wrong word, not effort, because they showed effort the whole game, but that intensity and that tenacity that they came out with in that first quarter, it's so hard to maintain that for 40 minutes. You know, I've tried, and believe me, it's not hard, it's not easy. So I think for them now, they just need to kind of go back, evaluate over the Christmas break, look at what they can work on, look at what they can improve on, and you know, put some plans into place.
And Durham will next be facing the Caledonia Gladiators on Saturday, January the 11th. So both teams heading into the Christmas break, a couple of weeks off, and then they'll be back in action. And in the Oakland and Sheffield game, the fight for the top spot. It is 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, a 75-61 lead for the Wolves over the Hatters. That's nowhere near over yet, though, is it?
No, it is not. 4 minutes, Kaz, it might as well be half an hour.
Certainly a long time in basketball, so Manchester will wait to see some other results, to see if that win was done enough to keep them in 4th place for the Cup. If it has, they are through to the semi-finals of the Cup, which will take place in the new year. And, you know, if this is the way this team are going to play throughout the rest of the season, that's a scary prospect, isn't it?
It really is.
And there we are, back on the camera with some stats. So, just final thoughts from you, Hannah. Who, obviously, David, it was huge. Can you pick one player on Manchester that really, you know, made it today?
I mean, can I pick Davida Dale or should I pick someone else?
You can pick
okay, I'll pick Davida Dale, but also, you know, that's obviously a given. But I think, you know, Annie Warren was just fantastic today. She really was relentless on the boards, and you know, she couldn't miss. I think she was my player today.
She was fantastic, and obviously Danny Williams just doing Danny Williams things as well. And for Durham, Eliza Bro, again, just a really great game for her.
Yeah, she really did. She, you know, she's tough. She was really executing on her finishing. So yeah, I think she's also my player for Durham.
So the final score from here in Manchester, 106 to Manchester, 50 to Durham. Thank you to everybody who's joined us live here on the Super League Basketball W YouTube channel. You can catch all the action all season long, so remember to like and subscribe. Thank you to Sam Heitzman and the MMU team who helped put on such a fantastic broadcast, bringing you all the action. And a big thank you to you, Hannah, for joining us. We will be back on the 1st of March. We're going to have a little bit of time off, aren't we? Manchester won't have any time off. They'll be playing. But make sure to join us back here for Manchester's next home game in March. But stay tuned for all the other action on the Super League Basketball W YouTube channel. So, thank you to everyone. Have a great Christmas, and we'll see you in the new year.
See you next year, Kaz.